He's easier on track, Matt, a little bit shorter on the tote. He looked, I couldn't fault his appearance. He's sparkling in the coat and he's on his toes. Atapi, yes, he looked terrific. His last 2 wins were good. At a break for 6 weeks, the top one.
Really enjoyed. Here's Al for the Byrne Hart Stakes.
Just waiting on the last 4 to be loaded here, and they'll be set and ready to go. Bookmakers prepared to take a set against Swiss Ace here. Good money coming for the Jackal. Group 2. Set. They're racing, and Swiss Ace to the inside, the first to come out of the gates and dance. The waves began quickly. Daunting Lad is going forward in front of Terena Bar and Matani, followed by La Montagna, a Jackal and one Atapi last of all. 650 metres left to go. Swiss Ace by a half length, the Daunting Lad. 2 to dance, the waves third. Terena Bar fourth on the fence, and a length the Matani fifth. And then La Montagna on the rail. The Jackal peeling out to make its run, and Atapi last of the 8 as they corner. It's Swiss Ace in front as they corner past the 400 metres mark. In front of Daunting Lad, Terena Bar, Dance the Waves on the outside, La Montagna. Then Matani, the Jackal, coming down the outside, and Atapi is starting to get in the clear, and he's going to rattle late. Swiss Ace clear past the 200 for Dance the Waves, Daunting Lad. Atapi's getting after them now. Swiss Ace the leader. Atapi and Dance the Waves coming at Swiss Ace. Swiss Ace just in front, and Swiss Ace has won again. He's won narrowly from Atapi. Dance the Waves third. Fourth home in the race was the Jackal. And then Daunting Lad, La Montagna. Matani's back next to last, and last home Terena Bar. He's home again.
Mick Mayer Pope now should be remembered, that's at weight for age.
Yeah, so he has the 56.5 against some hard nuts here.
They were tough old horses, weren't they?
Yeah. He's a good horse. Geez, I don't know whether he can last right through the winter.
You reckon he's up a bit early?
He's up and going, and he only had a little break. He only had a little break before he resumed, but I'm not potting him. 9 from 11, this 3-year-old. He's a star.
Yeah, he
9
is.
from 11.
Now, I want to watch him right away. Look at him look over his shoulder there. He knows how well he's going. He's just saying, he's how well these are going.
The old horse, the ex-New Zealander, Atapi, he's flying. He's going terrific for the new stable there.
Race number 6. Now, just as they arrive at the gates there at the Gold Coast, I might give a quick mention to a big function that's coming there at the Gold Coast. I might give a quick mention to a big function that's coming up in Brisbane in May. In a couple of weeks' time, we're into May now.
Living in for the Gold Coast, let's go to Alan Thomas for the running of the Hollandale Stakes.
He went on Cat on Lectrice. They're set and they're off and racing now. And Scenic Shot left okay near the inside. Rags and Riches was the first to go, and Storm Hill began okay. Spinny and Rampant Line going forward in front of Mallorca, King Latimus, and Scenic Shot's going to settle back on the paint. They're followed by Lasseron, and then comes Thin and Crispy, followed by second last and last Daring Fortune to the 600, and Storm Hill a half to Spinny, 1 to Rags to Riches third, Rampant Line is fourth. Now Scenic Shot's coming away from the rails on the point of the corner. He's in the clear at the top of the straight. He pushed Mallorca deep as they corner from Lasseron, and then Showify, but Storm Hill first for home at the 300. He's out by a length and a half. Spinny second. Here comes Scenic Shot on the outside from Rampant Line, and further back Mallorca and Lectrice on the fence inside the 200, and Spinny just in front of Storm Hill with Scenic Shot claiming it on the outside. Scenic Shot and Spinny have come away. Scenic Shot the outside just in front. Scenic Shot beats Spinny and Storm Hill. Lasseron fourth from Rampant Line. Then Mallorca, Lectrice over on the inside, followed by Daring Fortune. Rags to Riches, King Latimus a long way back, and then came Showify, and last time was Thin and Crispy.
Not too many to Rose Hill. He bumped into Weekend Hustler. He's another one that was coming out of the George Ryder Stakes, and today up at the Gold Coast he's won the Hollandale. On to the...
He knows how to ride a pearler, doesn't he?
Oh, great ride, and good planning by Daniel Morton with this horse, because he's targeted this Queensland Carnival with a horse from Perth who loves hard tracks. He'd run in the Ryder, I think, the George Ryder before this, and
on a soft track.
And didn't handle
didn't like that. But I'll tell you what, it was a bit firm up there yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. They were running very fast.
Yeah,
times.
well, that's a tough-legged horse from West Australia. You'd have to back them. They're the hardest-legged horses in the country, West Australian.
Where's he train at?
Yeah, I think he trains at...
Head to Doomben. We're on the countdown. One BTC Cup are currently being introduced to the crowd. There's Damien Oliver, and look, he's not without a chance of winning this race. There we go. That's the class of 2008 for the BTC Cup. The 8 jockeys that will go around. Apache Cat $1.30 at the moment, and that's pretty much across the board. He's the hot favourite here on track. As round syndications bring us the BTC Cup, and there's the starting signal. They're starting to bring these runners into line. Summing up, Larry, well, he's all the rage on track. They haven't backed anything to beat him, Apache Cat.
No, they'd be very brave if they did, Matt, but $1.40 is quite reasonable, I suppose, if we're talking.
Away now. And Dance the Waves off the inside was the first to go, and going quickly, Swiss Ace. Apache Cat began brilliantly. In fact, he's outside the speed in the early part. Now, Vormister's gone through to fourth inside La Montagna, followed by the Quickers last of all. Inside the 600, they're quickening the speed now. It's Dance the Waves, a half the Swiss Ace, a length and a half Apache Cat breathing down there next, followed by Vormister, La Montagna, and then the Jackal, Roman, Squire and Swick, the homeward bound. Dance the Waves is the leader. Swiss Ace on the outside. Now Brown calls upon Apache Cat. Vormister's trying to go with him from La Montagna. Dance the Waves and Swiss Ace led. Apache Cat and Vormister's getting underneath it. Vormister and Apache Cat and Swiss Ace. Apache Cat and Vormister grabbed the lead, and the Cat's got up. Apache Cat beat Vormister. Swiss Ace is third. It's a photo for fourth. Swick got home with the Jackal. The next time La Montagna, followed then by Dance the Waves, and last time in the race is Roman Squire. Well, it was hard work.
He didn't win by the margin I think a lot of people expected him to, at about 3 or 5 to 1 on.
No, that's exactly right. It was a bit of an anxious moment for me, but typical of how he is, he fights pretty hard to the line, and he's probably, after that run, I'd say, a little step up in distance is probably going to be ideal.
Yeah, she's run a really...
He'll have a break, and then we'll work out what we do for the spring.
All right, just before you go, 4 Group 1s in succession. That's a very, very rare feat for any thoroughbred. He's a terrific horse, isn't he?
He is. No, he's a wonderful horse, and you're right, 4 Group 1s, great effort, so got one to go yet, so hopefully we can do that.
Well, you just listen.
Yes, it did, and Greg Urell. Corey Brown was aboard. Lion Cavan is the sire of Apache Cat. A few anxious moments there, mate.
There was, yeah, no, undoubtedly. He worked hard for that one yesterday, but he just snuck in
Greg,
a little bit yesterday.
You noticed over the concluding stages with Vormister getting out and Swiss Ace shifted out a little bit. Do you think you were going better than anything on the line?
Just on the line, I thought that was probably the best part of his work.
Yeah, no, I'd agree.
Will you give him another run between now and the Stradbroke? Are you going to run him in the Stradbroke? Will he get too much weight? What's the issue there?
Look, ideally we go straight to the Doomben 10,000. That was always going to be the game plan, and in a fortnight, of course. And the Stradbroke was a backup plan in case something did go wrong up there, and we felt that there was an opportunity.
You've spoken to the...
He's won 4 Group 1s, I think, in his last 4 starts. So
it's 5 Group 1s altogether, isn't it?
Well, he's had a fantastic season. It's been incredible.
He's got to be a serious contender. He's a worthy contender for Horse of the Year.
He sure is.
Well, I'm sure he'll pick up a few votes, although he's running to the wrong horse in the wrong year in Weekend Hustler. But look,
what if he wins the 10,000?
Well, he's right. Oh, look, I'm saying he's a worthy contender for Horse of the Year.
Yeah. How did you make of Vormister?
Well, I mean, she did run Gold Edition to a neck in the Manicato, so
yeah.
you know the horse is full of quality, and it's swooped home to win that. To be ridden a bit closer, to sit on Apache Cat's tail because they knew they'd walk early and they had to be in striking distance. I think when they get to the Doomben 10,000, just looking at the betting, I think there'll be a fairly big field in the Doomben 10,000, and they'll run it at a quicker pace. And I think both the first and second horses there will be able to be ridden a little bit quieter off the speed in a faster tempo. And I did like the run of Swick. He got home hard at the finish. 13.50 horses acquitted themselves well.
That finish comes down to the early tempo of the race. It was hard to put margins in when they're coming home in 33 seconds. If we have a look at the market for the Doomben 10,000, you'll see there'll be more opposition there. Apache Cat, who went around $1.30 yesterday, is a $2.70 in the early markets there. But Vormister, I agree, she was sensational yesterday, and she's got a terrific chance.
In the afternoon, the next race is the Darley BTC Sprint coming up in 16 minutes' time, and a for Jim Byrne at $3.40, hard to catch. We get down to Absolute Glam. We just spoke to Stephen King, and Laura's Charm, now a Queenslander. Laura's Charm, trained up here by Jamie Nielsen these days. This Cup winner's been very well backed here, Helideck, and the support has continued for Atapi too. They're clearly the best back runners, Atapi and Helideck, as they get ready for the Darley BTC Sprint. Here's Al.
Darley Sprint, hard to catch. Won this race 2 years ago, 1 and 2. and they are away in the daily. Great start out with Dawning Lad from the outside, beginning quickly. Atapi went straight back towards the tail. Gisela began brilliantly and will probably lead them on settling down. Gee, there's a bit of speed to go. And the leader, Gisela, a half to Easy Rocker. Halley Deck with a lovely run on the fence, third on the inside of Laura's Charm. Mr. Baritone is wide. Antidotes next on the inside of Absolute Glam. Dawning Lad is deep, and they're followed then by Hard to Catch. Atapi will need a ton of luck, and then Mr. Hornblower, Strong Choice, and Frisco's Vision in the straight. Gisela the leader, Easy Rocker on the outside, and Helideck came off there back from Mr. Baritone. Antidotes, Absolute Glamour's next, and Atapi over near the inside, but Helideck sprinting quickly, or Antidotes has got rid of the rider. Helideck raced to the lead from Gisela. Absolute Glam, Mr. Hornblower, but Helideck's raced away. He's bolted in. Absolute Glam second, Mr. Hornblower third, Photo fourth, Easy Rocker or Mr. Baritone. The next time in the race, Frisco's Vision, and then came just behind those Hard to Catch, Atapi, Gisela. Further back is Dawning Lad, and then Strong Choice, and last time in the race was Laura's Charm, and Antidote's riders come off, and that's Luke Nolan in the straight inside the 200, about the 150 metre marker.
Helideck and Brett Kavanagh. Well done, Brett. Absolute Glam second, Mr. Hornblower third. By golly, he's got it going well, Al.
You often see this. There sometimes comes a horse to the carnival here in Brisbane and they just blossom. It's happened over a long period of time. I mean, he healed away again yesterday, and by the same token, Dotes with the white cap on, running fourth as they turn the corner, and he just runs out of a bit of a room here. And Luke goes down. Atapi has to switch. Jimmy Byrne had to sort of switch away on Atapi. You probably forget he went round. He sat up on him at the finish. But you have a look at the finish of the...
With Luke Nolan this morning is that he's been taken to a private hospital. A great job by Queensland Racing last night. They really did help out Luke and his wife Alicia. He will undergo an operation for a facial cut. It basically starts on the left side of his face and gets across to the right side between his nose and upper lip. He'll need an operation on his palate. He'll also need an operation on his knee. An cruciate ligament has done damage there. He's probably going to be out for 2 or 3 months. He is talking this morning. He's a lot brighter this morning, but certainly he's going to be out of action for a good 2 to 3 months, Graham.
Oh, God bless. Not all that far away, the Group 1 Doomben Cup. Here we go. 28 minutes until post time. Scenic Shot. Now, that's not a bad price. $9.80. This is 30 minutes out, but there's still 230,000. The Bart Cummings stable, $4.10. It's come up the Triple Crown Syndicate. Doomben jockeys are up and they're about to head out for race number 7. We're just looking for Viewed here. Perhaps he's a little bit late coming down because Reg Fleming was quite tied up with Antidotes and that incident in the previous race. So I'm not sure if that would have anything to do with it, but I can't see him there, Larry. He's no, he's definitely not there Viewed. So he must. He's just coming down now. So we'll have a look at him in just a moment. But all right, let's recap with the late Mole. Well, you wanted to see him because he's your top. Getting up to the 2,000 metres is certainly a big plus for her. Is she up to this sort of task? What Scenic Shot is trying to do: win the Hollandale Stakes and then come out and win the Doomben Cup. This is a.
Gates open, and they're off and racing in the Doomben Cup. It was a great start out. Serrera was the first to go. Stormhill began quickly, like it is, well away with Eskimo Queen and Spinny on the outside. And Scenic Shot's going to dive over to a good spot early. They get to the line the first time. Like it is, the leader from Stormhill. Eskimo Queen third. Rampant Liners fourth. Scenic Shot, which of the 800 metres markers, like it is, a half to Rampant Line. Stormhill third. Eskimo Queen's fourth on the outside. Spinny fifth, Serrera sixth offence, a length and a half to Scenic Shot and a good spot, seventh from Grand Zulu, then Lasseron, Viewed as next on the inside of Legendary Man, a big gap Trick of Light followed by Lectrice, Emerald Jack and then Reggie and Love You Leo. Last of all, they're on the bend and Rampant Line raced away, 3 Like It Is followed by Stormhill, Eskimo Queen to the outside, Serrera takes the shortcut and Scenic Shot, Spinny and Lasseron and Viewed to the outside, Rampant Line past the 300, 2 in front, Serrera coming after it from Like It Is, and Scenic Shot is coming down the outside, but Rampant Line, the lead of Serrera, has grabbed it on the outside, then Scenic Shot, but Serrera takes the lead from Rampant Line, and Serrera beat Rampant Line tight for third, Like It Is or Scenic Shot in front of Stormhill and Viewed. The next time in the race, Spinny followed by Grand Zulu, Eskimo Queen didn't finish it off, Reggie, Love You Leo, and then Trick of Light, Lasseron followed by Emerald Emerald Jack and Legendary Man and Lectrice is last of all in the Doomben Cup. Beautiful ride, Damien Oliver Serera. Well, everyone said he needed it wet. Well, he didn't need it wet. He got it dry. Got a lovely run in the race. He took.
No, Sebastian rode like it is.
Yeah.
Damien Oliver.
Yeah, Damien. Well, no, just I'm looking at what's on the screen here. Sorry. I thought I was going nuts.
Have you heard of Damien Oliver?
I did say Damien Oliver earlier on.
One piece. He's not a track manager who cares about running fast times. He leaves a bit of give in the ground for the horse, and I think that paved the way for your horses when you stayed. It helped.
Yeah, look, he certainly presented the track in great order. Because I agree with it. I think it's just got to have that little bit of jar out, and then that we'd have a crack at some of the better races. And we thought we'd head up here and have a go at the Brisbane Cup as well, because 2,400 metres is about as far as he wants to go. But now with the probably going to have a weight problem now.
Yeah, he looks like
the Brisbane Cup weights won't come out until the Tuesday before the Cup. That you're probably going to get around 60 kilos. That would virtually rule a Brisbane Cup start out.
Yeah, Andrew, that would rule it out. You know, he's won these 2 weight for age races.
But his last run at the Gold Coast, God only knows what he ran those last couple in, and he looks quite.
And all the team at Doomben runners are at the gates, and El Cambio has hit black figures on track as well as on Unitab there, so he's pretty skinny there. NSW and Super Tab.
And they're off and racing in the last event of the day, and El Cambio began okay. He's drifting back to about midfield early and a shade worse. Quarter ward from the inside, the first to go. Bella Valentina got quickly out 7 metres mark. Quarter ward by 2. Bella Valentina second, and racing third, Mr. Unforgettable. 2 away, Belegal Frosty on the fence. Miss Wattigan is wide. Heart of the City next, and they're followed then by Aislinn Street. El Cambio tracking up behind those. Crossed the start on the fence. Diplomatic Force going around them, but he'll be deep on the corner. And then Barclays, Vane, Darlow and Apasu. They're homeward bound, 400 metres to go. Quarter ward tackled by Bella Valentina. Miss Wattigan coming up on the outside. Heart of the City got shunted back, and El Cambio is coming down the outside, and so is Diplomatic Force to the 200. Bella Valentina the leader. El Cambio, Mr. Unforgettable and Diplomatic Force coming down the outside. El Cambio and Mr. Unforgettable together. El Cambio's just in front, and El Cambio just beat Mr. Unforgettable. Diplomatic Force is third. Bella Valentina was fourth. The next time in the race then crossed the start. A big run from Bark.
He had to do a bit of work, Larry, but he's a horse. Corey's pretty kind to him at the finish, and he's a horse, when you really get at him, he does fine a bit, but I was happy enough with the win.
On that race, second against first for interference over the closing
we
stages.
See the head on. There is definitely grounds for it, but
I think we only had to get the low angle here, but it does look like they're pretty tight, and Corey's trying to hold El Cambio off the other horse, but obviously
it looks worse.
You'll see them here.
Mr. Unforgettable. Favourite.
Yeah, not even money favourite. Mr. Unforgettable's those red and white colours, and El Cambio's got the white sleeves. Mr. Unforgettable just came out fractionally there, and you'll see El Cambio come in, and it gives him a half whack here. But I always thought calling the race El Cambio had the other horses measure, so I think they've got the right decision.
That is definitely enough grounds to
head on, I'd say upheld, side on, I say no way.
It's definitely enough grounds to uphold a practice. I'm not saying they did the wrong thing in dismissing it, but there's definitely enough grounds on any day that's a flip of the coin.
Yeah. But side on, you're looking at side on.
I've seen protests upheld for less, but I think El Cambio, you can see there, El Cambio's really got his measure.
Yeah. Head on, I say upheld, side on, you
Ronnie,
say no way. He come from behind,
if we were the
he had his
panel,
measure. If we were the stewards panel, I would have said...
I'd be upholding it.
I'll be saying dismissed.
I'm with you, Duff.
They're having up a great war. Forget the others on the corner.
1200 Marasco back from a break after winning the Group 3 Hyperion at Ascot back in April, and he's the odds-on favourite in front of number.
And they're racing. Charlie Bow went straight out the back, and Special Reserve won the start. Now, where's Marasco going to settle? He's back about 6th or 7th as they settle into stride, and Lashino's firing across with McLurch. Lashino's gone to the top from Special. In the clear is next. A length and a half changing lanes, going up to sit outside of Marasco. Then Field Commander ripped, and well back in the field, Roman Time. They're being followed by Charlie Bow, second last on target, and Tarzi trails them as they string out. The pace is nice and hot. Lashino brings them up to the turn. about the 500. A length over McLurch. On the fence, the mare Special Reserve. Then came West River Charlie, about to ease out around the heels of McLurch as they come around the home turn. A length and a half to Local Legend, followed by Arctic Park, and Marasco's back behind them, extricating around their heels. He's trying to get out underneath the neck of Rip, and he's now into the open. Local Legend comes out after Lashino with Marasco and Rip starting to gather them in. Here comes Marasco tackling Local Legend. He's got them. Arctic Park gets through late, but Marasco wins it. Marasco scored from either Arctic Park or Local Legend. Rip ran fourth. They were followed by Charlie Bow, Lashino, Roman Time to Rip. From the turn to finish Stone Motherless last. Marasco. William Pike's first ride on the Mighty M, and he has come up trumps. Had to dig him out of a hole to get out underneath the neck of Rip to get clear. And at the 2:10 and 1:30, the Millionaire Performer has proven too good under the 60 kilograms. How will they?
And not too far away, only 4 minutes before the great Harada Sun debuts for Aidan O'Brien and Johnny Murtagh. And short break, and on the other side we'll bring you the big Group 1 from England. Harada.
A little on his toes as he went out, but Harada Sun in Australia, he's won 6 of his 16 starts, 2 Group 1s or Grade 1s, and he goes on good ground and soft ground. So I think the conditions today, should be absolutely fine. A mile, he's probably not seen a straight mile before, but everything else is exactly what he wants.
His demeanour is fine. You will note there that he is just getting a shade. We are keeping our fingers crossed for a cracking performance. Will Harada Sun make an impact on his first European start? Can Godolphin continue a revival?
It's a muddling race. They're all in. All in for the Juddmonte Lockinge of 2008. And they're off and racing. And from one of the middle stalls, Alquasi jumped in the air. There is no frantic pace early on. Cracador has come through to lead at a very sedate gallop with Astronomer Royal and the pink cap of Phoenix Tower. Rob Roy is now intent, it would appear, on making this a better test and moves through to take up the lead. So it's Rob Roy on the right that leads with towards the outside Phoenix Tower. Now a few of those that are behind have to not just work their way out, but also amongst horses. Cracador in the blue tracking the pace with Harada Sun, Arabian Gleam. Cesare is still last as Barshiba hangs out towards the centre of the course. 3 furlongs out, Rob Roy has had a good tactical ride and still leads. From in second place, Phoenix Tower in the pink cap. Cracador amongst horses, then Majestic Roy. Cesare trying to improve towards the outside with Arabian Gleam. Cracador and Phoenix Tower, they show the way from Rob Roy, and then comes Arabian Gleam, and it's Cracador who has moved through the lead on the wide outside. Cesare still has 2 lengths to find, is staying on, but Cracador leads by a length or so. Tariq is finishing off stoutly on the run to the line. It's Cracador who leads from Phoenix Tower, and Cesare. Cracador, Godolphin back. Cracador won the Lockinge. Second then was Phoenix Tower, tight for third. Tariq Cesare from Arabian Gleam, and Harada Sun in 6th.
Cracador wins the Lockinge. We'll have a good look at that later.
And one with Frankie Dettori aboard now. Harada Sun. Many would say he was unlucky. He got cut out there at about 100 metres to go.
Oh, I think he was gone at the time.
Yeah, I think he was the first horse under hard riding.
He's gone here.
Yeah.
Did he get a second wind?
No.
You got to understand.
He ducks back to the inside. You think he's going to get a second wind. I'm not so sure about that, Al.
Those European horses, the only reason he got squeezed out here is because the horse on the inside was simply going better than him. And those European horses don't fold up in front like a lot of our horses do.
Have a good look at the head-on, Richard. The red horse comes across and clearly takes his ground.
No, Andrew, on reflection, that may have been an optical illusion, really.
I saw the head-on last night.
Oh, did you? Yeah, but I reckon he might have been struggling, though.
He was going nowhere. He was gone.
Well, Johnny Murtagh said it was a messy race. He said we crawled the first 800. He said we were running on when the 2 horses cut across. He said the horse will love the mile at Ascot, and he's got no doubt about the trip.
Well, if they went slow, he should have gone.
Talk him up.
Andrew,
talk him up, boy.
Andrew,
talk him up, boy.
They've paid $40 million for him.
They've got to talk him up.
They're going to talk him up, but he will improve. I'm sure he will improve on that run. I want to back that.
The winner, Cracador, there. He's the horse that went to Hong Kong and ran second to Good Barbar in the International Mile, so he had a bit of form.
Yeah. All right. Well, just in case
we can drive drop off pretty quick here, can't we?
Oh, yeah. It's not our horse anymore.
It's a galloper, and now we're calling it the former Australian galloper.
I think it should have won.
He was bred in New Zealand, wasn't he?
Oh, good on you, Andrew. All right.
Jeez, he was unlucky.
Oh, will you stop it? Let's have a look now. If you've missed the Preakness, second leg of the Triple Crown and Sky this morning, here's what happened.
Kentucky Bear down toward the inside. Race Car Rhapsody and Hey Byrne, and they turn for home in the Preakness, and Big Brown has seized the lead, and he is pulling away. Big Brown's doing it again. He is disappearing from the field. He's in front by 5. And then it's Race Car Rhapsody, and on the outside Macho again, and just cruising into the line. Captain Sorbo looked in the rearview mirror, nobody was there. He waltzes home to win the Preakness. No one's ever...
Andrew, did you find anything unlucky there? Or...
Alf just made a comment. He said, they are dead set hacks behind him. I reckon I could have got out and run second.
I reckon Kemp's almost got to go and see his chiropractor. He looked around and nearly broke his neck on 3 occasions.
He looked between his legs. He couldn't see anything. It was daylight.
Don't worry about the opposition. This is an absolute superstar. It's an absolute champion.
It'll win the third leg. It'll be
as good a horse we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Well, we had news this week about Whitten buying Sebring for $30 million.
Yeah. Now,
Three Chimney stud in America.
This is
has
interesting.
and it's been announced since that race that has done a deal for it, the Standard Stud, for $55 million.
Yeah, I tell you what. We need to speak to somebody involved, you know, perhaps John Massara, to say whether that's reasonable value or not. I'd love an answer like that.
Why would you ask anyone in Australia? I mean, that's set for the American market. Surely you've got to ask someone over there. They don't usually make mistakes.
We're so close here, it doesn't really matter. They're buying Harada Sun. You saw that?
Yeah, right. Well, don't forget tonight on Sky.
This afternoon.
Yeah, look at this. Oh, this afternoon, my apologies. What time? 17:30, yep. Well,
5:30.
The International Sprint, Takeover Target, Magnus and Universal Ruler.
Don't miss it.
Is Absolute Champion going around in it as well?
There's some...
Yes.
Is he going to run?
Yes.
Yes, at this stage, the reports this morning are that he is. I'll make another call before the end of...
Back in 2001, and then in 2002, North Boy for Australia. Again, a 3-year-old was able to score, written by Greg Childs, trained by Tony McAvoy. The only 3-year-old barrier number 12. But Takeover Target, he's the People's Champion, a winner of 5 Group 1s. In fact, he's competed...
Well, we're all talking Takeover Target, Murray, but Magnus was able to beat him home in England last year.
Magnus is a very, very good horse, Craig, and he comes here with some outstanding form. He's run second twice at Group 1 level to Weekend Hustler. Now, he recently became the first horse in Australia since the mighty Kingston Town back in the late 70s to win 6 Group 1s in a single season, and he's rated in the top 10 racehorses in the world. And when Magnus last ran against Weekend Hustler, he was only 3/4 of a length away at level weight. So he just has to have a little bit of luck from the alley, and we've got a very good...
Now we're right. Hits the button, they're racing. Stark Crowned and Capablanca going for the early lead. Takeover Target's up there with Ace and Aces. YB's caught out a little bit deep, followed by Magnus, who's slotting over nicely in about 6th position. Then White Caddo, they're followed by Absolute Champion. Oh, he's being pulled up out of the race, Absolute Champion. Ahead of him was Lovelace, and they're followed further back in the field by Salam Dubai San Zero, and Universal Rulers going by him. YB takes the lead from Takeover Target, Capablanca 3rd, Ace and Aces 4th, Magnus nicely to 5th, followed by Stark Crown, and then White Caddo going okay, and then on the outside Salam Dubai, followed by Lovelace, and then Universal Ruler about to come to the outside, and San Zero drops out to last. Takeover Target is the leader, turning into the straight from YB. Capablanca, Magnus is moving up on the outside of Takeover Target. Magnus and Takeover Target in the middle as Capablanca. White Caddo's running on. Stark Crown, San Zero. Takeover Target and Magnus. Australia roars. Takeover Target's finding something. Magnus on the outside. Takeover Target in front, and he's going to win it. Takeover Target by a half a length. San Zero flew on the outside. Might have got second, and nose in front of Magnus. Then White Caddo, followed by Stark Crowned. In behind those horses was Lovelace. Then Champion has been pulled out of the race about 200 or 300 metres after the start. Takeover Target, number 2, has been able to score He jumped well, and the others weren't fast enough for him, so full rags to riches story. We've heard it 1,000 times. He was bought for about 1,200 Australian dollars at a tried horse sale. He'd had a number of trials. I think he might have won one of them, but obviously half a length, the nose, a length and a quarter, and the time 1 minute 8.8, so that smashes all records. We don't even need to check the list. 1:8.8 is the new standard for the 1,200 metres. And the fairy tale continues with Takeover Target.
He run once again.
Yeah, very much so. He was a little bit fractious in the gates today, and he wasn't the cleanest to break, but he must have speed quite easily, and they applied plenty of pressure from the outset. We wanted to hold to earn it today, but he's just so tough and gutsy, and you know, he was only second up, and history shows that, you know, the more runs under his belt, you know, the third, the fourth, the fifth up from a spell, he keeps on improving. So I still think, you know, although he ran a terrific race today, he's still got a little bit of improvement left in him.
You've been with this bloke for years.
You know, he's rising 9, but you know, you ask him, he probably thinks he's a 3-year-old. You know, I think he's going as good as ever. And like
this bloke, how did you pick him out for only $1,200?
The price. That's about all I could afford at the time, and that's the only reason that made me buy him.
Okay, well done. On to England. No change to those plans after that mighty win?
No, that was that's paid its way now, and let's hope England's just a bonus from here on in.
Okay, another international Group 1 for you. Well done, Joe.
Thank you kindly.
Taking out the Chris Flyer.
$1,200, that's all I could afford. And tonight's prize money, I think it takes him over the $5 million mark. And who knows what this horse can do over the next year or so. Waikato. Takeover Target's finding something. Magnus on the outside. Takeover Target in front, and he's going to win it. Takeover Target by a half a length. San Zero flew on the outside.
He not only won, Jay, he broke the track record.
Yeah, I think he's shown he's rising 9, but he doesn't seem to be slowing down at all. He seems to have come back as good as ever, and you know, he's still able to compete on the international scene and race at his best.
Gee.
Look, I'm convinced he's back better than ever. Jay, he raced first up against Apache Cat. He looked like as heavy as I've ever seen him first up, and then to continue on there, and you still expect improvement, and after being attacked a little in front, just to come out with these fighting qualities, I think all goes well for this Europe.
I think this year going towards England, this is the best year he's prepared for it. He seems to have come back terrific. And like you said, yeah, poor old Magnus, if he's not running against us, he's against Weekend Hustler. So, but he ran terrific the other night, and you know, he drew off the track, and you know, it was always wide. So he ran a terrific race. So it'll be good to see him clash again.
Jay, Jack, you've written it.
Hopefully, keep winning races.
Now, he's won in Australia, England, Japan, and Singapore. Let's have a look at it. How often does this happen where we've had a horse that do what Takeover Target's done?
Not very often. It just never happened, I don't think. It ends out above the rest, or are they all special?
Japan.
Okay.
Japan. You know, nothing was going to beat him that day, and you know.
With the latest on the Rough Habit plate, Andrew.
Moati's just a fraction easy as they go to the stalls, although its tote price is over what they're paying here. Pepperwood's tightened in
16 Monarchy Princess. A short break and we'll be right back with the Rough Habit plate here at Doomben.
They're racing now, and Moatai's got a squeeze. He jumped only fairly, then he got a squeeze between Nitrogen and Formula One Racer, and he's got about 4 behind him early. Now, Conley's Choice was the first to come out of the gates. Invincible Power began okay. Mission Critical's going forward, and Circle of Fame's on the fence fourth. And the inside of My Limit, Formula One Racer. On the Rough Habit, they're 900 out from the judge. Invincible Power quickening the tempo. 2.5 to Mission Critical, 1/2 to Conley's Choice, 2 to My Limit. 1 to Nitrogen. Circle of Fame back on the inside of Formula One Racer, followed by Costa Zoo, and then comes Havian. Now Moatize has been called upon by Bowman going forward from Monchen Glarback. My New Best Friend back on the fence. Pepperwood about to start his run, and then Monashi, Princess and Trippetson. Delzara's last of all. They're on the bend. Invincible Power the leader. Mission Critical coming up on the outside from Conley's Choice, My Limit, and now Moatize is getting to the outside from Pepperwood. Mission Critical in front, 250 to go. Here's Moatize, followed by My Limit, and further back is Conley's Choice, but it's Moatize moving up to Mission Critical. Moatize and Mission Critical. Moatize on the outside and Mission Critical. They hit it. More Mission Critical or Moatize. Gee, he wouldn't give up the inside horse. There's a nose in this. Mission Critical or Moatize. Now, third's a photo. Formula One Racer. Conley's Choice is prominent, and so is Havian, Invincible Power, and My Limit's there. Then there's Delzar. Monashi, Princess, Circle of Fame, Mind, with Monchen Glarback. And the winner is number 2, Mission Critical. Number 2, Mission Critical after Byrne
Cup, which Mission Critical was a scratching from. He didn't get a run, but he's bounced back today by taking the rough habit plate. And what about that for a
halfway down? But he showed a lot of courage and
it looked beaten, didn't it?
And did you know what I saw there yesterday? I saw shades of Yippee-I-O and Marble Halls. And these two are going to go to the Derby. It's clearly they got lengths on the rest of them. Moatize still a maiden, of course. But Mission Critical and him, nose between them, go to the Derby, 1.5 miles. Moatize, they'll probably ride him, can ride him and wait a little bit longer. They had to probably get going a little bit early on him yesterday around Doomben. But lots of Yippee-I-O and Marble Halls fighting this out when they get there to the Derby.
Couldn't agree more. They dominated the race. They singled out, and I think that could well be the case in a couple of weeks' time. You can make an excuse for Moatize again.
I thought he should have.
He had a bit of work to do there.
If he had a softer run and he didn't have to circle the field the way he did,
but
he might have won that.
It's the same in the Derby. One horse will be up there making his own luck, and one horse is going to be back in the ruck where a lot of slow coaches involved. Correct. Not getting a card in the race.
But in a Derby, they'll string out a lot more. He'll get a softer run, I would have thought. But it'll be an interesting contest. I'm not convinced Moatize will stay the Derby trip, but he's going to get every chance because, you know, Bart trains him. He'll get every chance to do it. But you know, that's the only thing. He just died on his run there, but he had sustained a long run.
Hasn't had a long...
Now, we've been here at Doomben today. We've had some terrific racing. Mission Critical taking the previous race, the rough habit plate. But the main event is coming up this afternoon. It's the Group 1 Doomben 10,000 over the 1350. And he's tightened up Apache Cat. He got out to about 260, 270 on the Unitab. We've been watching his price throughout the day. He's there at $2.30 at the moment. Other chances are Raining to win, well in commission. And as we look further down there, Murtagill is just into single figures. He was better than $10 earlier on. And just looking at the early activity on Murtagill, what's Murtagill? 9, 10, less than half that. Less than half that.
Again, and John headed back to the stables, and as he was driving back, he received a phone call, and the woman said, I just want to confirm this. Now what breed of cat is it again? And we just shook our heads. We couldn't believe it's been a bad week, but it just made it even worse.
Well, I guess hopefully in about a little while you'll be able to forget all that and hopefully celebrate quite a unique performance, trying to win a 5th straight Group 1 with this horse, Apache Cat. How is he? Is he bright?
It's open and we're off and racing now. Apache Cat left okay. Murtagill began quickly in the middle and Helidecker's going fast. And when they settle fully into stride, it is Murtagill just in front of Helideck. Apache Cat is straight to the box seat, racing third. Catch got a Pratt, and then Turfontaine, the last of all, Double Dare at the 750 metres mark, and the leader Murtagill. Wonder Helideck, Apache Cat third the fence. Just Mamot is racing fourth. Tutelar Montagna Raining to wins in the middle. Tat Delago out 3 deep, and they're followed then by the Jackal. Vormister had to go back to try to get in, and then Turfontaine followed by Hard to Catch and Double Dare. They're on the bend. Murtagill first for home. Apache Cat, he's away from the rail now. Helideck is third, followed by Jush Mamon and Raining to win at the 300. And Apache Cat on the outsides race to the lead from Murtagill. 2 lengths away, Helideck. And then Jush Mamon Raining to win down the outside. But Apache Cat, he exploded away. He's got his claws into them now, Apache Cat. He's raced away 5, Murtagill. And Apache Cat bolted him from Murder Jill. Turfontaine third. Just Mamont run fourth. The next time in the race then was Double Dare. Then the Jackal. The Mister had no luck from the alley. And then Helideck reigning to win. A long way back in the field came Hard to Catch. And then Tantat the Largo. And last Toma's La Montagne. And ladies and gentlemen, salute a sprinting champion in Apache Cat. The crowd at Doomben stand, and rightly so, to applaud one of the great sprinters of the Australian turf. There's no doubt about it. He has absolutely annihilated them today. 4 3/4 lengths. 4 3/4 lengths.
What a star. Absolute star, Apache Cat. 5 consecutive Group 1 victories, and painless it was.
Extraordinary today, isn't it? At the 1350 metres, that's the most decisive of any of his 6 Group 1 wins. Now 5 in a row, 16 wins from 30 starts, and does make the Horse of the Year contest very interesting.
Very interesting. The $2.06 crowd.
Sprint? Yes. What about Europe next year?
Look, it's a genuine possibility at this stage, and you know, very confident if he went across there, and especially how well Takeover Target went the other day, he'd be very competitive.
I think Queenslanders would...
10,000 history.
Yeah, and I think we throw all that drama during the week about the confusing blood samples just completely out the window, because, you know, I just can't believe how easy he's won that today.
He was $1.70 before blood test results, and here we are talking about a horse that's dominated it and blown them away and has paid $2.40 or $2.60. Quite incredible. Overseas
was the day of the Cat anyway. I don't know if the year of the Cat. Without Weekend Hustler, it'd be the year of the Cat, but 5 Group 1s in a row, that's an amazing achievement, and you have to bow to the horse. That was his best ever win, I say.
Yeah. Today was his best win ever that I've ridden him. He Murder Jill really skipped along from about the 500 and towed us into the race perfectly. He didn't hit the flat spot that he generally hits. Once he's straight for home and balanced, there's nothing going to catch him. It's probably furlong and a half till he settled, and then Murder Jill actually went onto the fence then, and he had a bum to follow. But like I said, from the 500 onwards, it was pretty much all over.
Yeah, the perfect ride by Corey Brown, Greg Urell the trainer, Apache Cat, Murder Jill second, and Turfontaine third.
I wouldn't call Murder Jill a bum. That's what Corey called him.
Well, a lot would.
Well, okay. Well,
I don't know about that.
I actually quite missed that, but look, we'll come back to that in a sec. We might just get...
Had a good time in front. Quickened up very well for myself. I was very happy when he extended and lengthened the way he did around the corner. Surprised to see that thing was past me so easy, because I was doing some running, but my horse has run very well. Yeah, he drops 5 kilos to the Stradbroke. He's going to be competitive there as well.
Yeah, terrific run. He was always going to be tough from the gate, but settled good, raced right. There's a bit of interference in through the run, and we were able to avoid most of that. But then just coming into the straight, we got lost a little bit of momentum, got to the outside, and he just rocketed. Super run from the Stradbroke, no weight. He's got to be leading. He's got to be due.
Larry, they didn't go that quick early, and then it was probably suited to horses more on the speed, and he's run unbelievable sectionals. I'm very happy to be riding him in the Stradbroke.
We had a lot of luck from the outside draw, Larry, but you know, she was probably still a little bit below par from her first up run, but certainly not giving up on her. I expected her.
He worked hard last start to win the BTC Cup, but yesterday's was a great effort.
Is that his best performance?
I think it is, yeah. I think, you know...
I don't know whether this blood count thing got out of control, but please tell me this isn't true, that the vet practice rung you and asked you what sort of a cat we're dealing with?
Well, that's true. I mean, it was just a comedy of errors as it went along. I mean, you know, we had the first scare on Monday, and then from there we ordered another 2 blood tests to be taken from independent labs, and then... in which one lab submitted the test, put it in, filled in all the paperwork, and then John was driving back to the stables, and one of the girls from the lab rang him up and said, "Now I just want to clarify this. Now, what breed of cat is he again?"
A Persian or a Burmese?
It would have been funny. Would have been funny to have brought him to the vet with a bell around his neck.
Pretty strong cat, this.
But with that was the tip of the iceberg.
Sky this morning, the Stradbroke. What's going on?
Well, it'll go on without him, Andrew. Yeah,
a lot of trainers are happy.
The paddock tomorrow.
What about all those beaten jockeys, though? All they could mention was the Stradbroke. They didn't even want to talk about yesterday's race because they got cleaned up consummately.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg.
Or Stephen King Vormister in the Stradbroke.
And Corey Brown just rang up and didn't refer to the horse as a bum. He wanted a bum to follow to settle.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said
I got a bum to follow.
He said he was looking for a horse.
He was on the phone very quick.
He rang.
I think from a Stradbroke point of view, I think everyone saw the run of Double Dare. And Vormister had no luck, but Double Dare from a Stradbroke point of view, I think is the one people wanted to sort of take out of the race.
Al, this is usually the race we look for the Stradbroke winner, but with such a margin to the bunch, is this the race we still look at for the Stradbroke winner?
Well, Casino Prince is still there, isn't he? And those sort of horses.
I was just looking for a flashing light there, and it didn't occur.
I was disappointed with Vormister, I had to say. I thought Vormister would do better, but I didn't think it was great. Maybe it's just second up syndrome with her.
So the sun's out unbelievably. Now Petrushki here for Johnny Wheeler on the totes, $2.90 on the Unitab market. It's $2 at the $2.60, $9.58, $20 and $11. It's around the $9 mark. Trippett says today there. Good to see the sun finally out. Grand Prix Stakes starts today. Let's get to Alan Thomas.
They're set. And they're off and racing. Petrushki went straight back to last, the favourite, when the gates open. And Leith Innes is going to head over closer towards the inside. The grey from out wide. Don't Call Me Bruce won the start. And he's about to run to the lead from Let Him Go to the turn out of the straight. Invincible Powers going up to third, and Teary Eyed will settle fourth. And then followed from home, Invincible Power by one. Don't Call Me Bruce is second. 2 lengths away is Let Him Go, and they're followed by Teary Eyed. Next on the outside from Nitrogen, then Show City. Renmark, Petrushki, he's going nowhere at the moment. He's worse than midfield, and he's under the hammer as they corner. Invincible Power heads for home at the 400 from Don't Call Me Bruce. Teary Eyed on the outside from Let Him Go, followed then by Norse Code, Trippett, Show City, Bell Academy, Nitrogen, and then Petrushki and Renmark, but Teary-Eyed shot to the front at the 200 and got away. Bell Academy went to second on the outside from Norse Code running home. Teary-Eyed the leader. Bell Academy on the outside's about to grab it. It's Bell Academy and Teary-Eyed. Bell Academy takes the lead from Teary-Eyed close to home, and it is Bell Academy. Bell Academy beat Teary-Eyed, and Petrushki's come from a mile back, has grabbed third in front of Don't Call Me Bruce from Norse Code. Renmark 4D, Trippett's A grade. Then Let Him Go.
Yes, by Royal Academy, Robert Heathcote and Glyn Schofield, the riding.
Yeah, good performance. Bell Academy will go to the Derby next week. I don't think the Derby winner came out of that race. I still think Mission Critical and Moa Ties, the two that fought out the Rough Habit Plate, I think are the two main stages for next week. Teary-Eyed race.
Here's the real Derby market.
Well, you know, we're always a sitting.
Let's have a look at the Eagle Farm Race 3. This is the OShea Stakes Group 2. What a disappointing lineup we've got here for this Group 2 contest. Scenic Shot, $5 Unitab. They're betting 3.7 on course. Hoffmeister at the $26 on course. Rampant Lion, $2.70. Who would have thought it'd start $2.70 in a Group 2 contest? Rampant Lion. Storm Hill, $5.50. Should appreciate the heavy ground there.
Betting in this race is fairly interesting. I guess the only one the bookmakers don't think can win is Hoffmeister, and I'm here to tell you there's been a bit of money for him. In club's colours, they're set. And they're off and racing. Now near the inside, Storm Hill was the first to come out of the gates, and Like It Is going up to stride with him in the early part, and Rampant Line settles third. So we all thought that had happened. Scenic Shot to fourth, Doug's Mate to fifth, and Hoffmeister is last of all. Well, that's how the road maps or the speed maps worked it out, and when they go out of the straight to the nut quickly, and at the 1100 metres mark, it's Storm Hill joined by Rampant Line, which will run to the front. 2 lengths away, Like It Is third. Scenic Shot fourth on the rail. A length to Doug's Mate and 2 on the top corner. 900 metres left to go. Rampant Line out by 2. Storm Hill second. Like It Is a neck away on the outside. And Scenic Shot is sneaking up on the fence. Gee, Storm Hill's under the pump early. 2 lengths away on 1.5 to Doug's Mate and 2 to Hoffmeister. At the 700 metres mark, Rampant Line by a length and a half. Scenic Shot cruise through to second. Like It Is under pressure third. Doug's Mate fourth. Storm Hill's gone. Dropped straight out of it. And Hoffmeister's gone past him. They're on the bend. And looks only 3 chances. Rampant Line, a length to Scenic Shot, and 2 to Doug's Mate, and about 5 to Hoffmeister. Past the 400 metres, Rampant Line is the leader. Is only a neck to Scenic Shot. Scenic Shot having a struggle to get the Rampant Line, and they're clear. And then Doug's Mate and Hoffmeister. Rampant Line and Scenic Shot. It's a 2-horse war at the 200. Rampant Line, the inside's just in front of Scenic Shot, and then Doug's Mate. But Rampant Line, he's finding plenty at the moment. Scenic Shot's having another dig at him. Rampant Line, Scenic Shot to the line, and Oh, don't know. Scenic Shot, rampant line, Scenic Shot. It was a great run on the OShea. 5 to Doug's Mate, 15 to Hoffmeister, and tailback last was Storm Hill, and Like It Is. What a finish. What a finish for the OShea Stakes. What a race. What a Scenic Shot, and who got the stride in? The outside. Scenic Shot will get it. Number 2, Scenic Shot, Glenn Collis, wins a great PJ OShea Stakes. One of the most exciting OSheas I've ever seen.
2 victory in the OShea Stakes. Okay, we've only got 6 minutes to race time here. There's a protest in Sydney. It's third.
And it certainly got, within 100 metres to go, he seemed to go about a long neck, nearly a half length in front, but he just kept coming again.
Yeah, he's had a good carnival, Scenic Shot. He's won the Hollandale, the OShea, and he's run 4th in the Doomben Cup. So you've come a long way, but it's been worthwhile.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, these were the 3 weight for ages that we picked out for him, and yeah, it's just turned out great.
How long?
He wasn't comfortable at all that day, so yeah, it was a concern going in. But actually, as Al said before, the track actually raced quite well yesterday.
Just notice the track. You have a look. Now, this track is a heavy 8. And have a look, they're hardly getting it. I mean, it was heavy and they were slogging through it, but there is nothing coming. Just have a look. You might get the odd clod. But gee, that track played great yesterday. Well, it really did.
It only goes to... Well, I've had a few discussions during the week on this issue too. It seems as though the tracks that got a break during EI have come back and raced very, very fairly. And we've been saying, was it just because they got a break? And a lot of the course curators have been saying, no, it's because we were able to do renovation work that we've never been able to do before. And it seems to be something that's really paying off now, and we should all...
Stakes, and we'll be putting Fravashi to the test. And here is the market for race 5, and Fravashi's $1.60. This is the Boom 2-year-old from the Peter Snowden stable in Sydney. He's had the 2 starts, won them both very impressively. $1.60 there. Captain Fantasized Produce. Further down we've got Rockdale there. Craig Newitt gave it a good push earlier on.
Produce, Fravashi. Doesn't matter what language it is. It's short price favourite wherever it is. 170, 160, 160 on course 160.
The gates open and they're off and racing now. Captain Fantastic, one of the first to go. Fravashi began brilliantly, and so did Cat Don Teebs, and there goes Rockdale. And on settling fully into stride, it is Rockdale going to the lead. Fravashi is second. Adnacon goes to third. Cat Don outside. Tambo Tiger and Privilege classes last of all. They go to the 600. Rockdale in front by 1. Fravashi second. Adnacon third. Cat Don Teebs, Saratoga. Now Captain Fantastic sneaking up on the fence, and then County Raider as they round the corner from Privilege class. 400 to go. Rockdale the leader. Fravashi coming after him from Cat Don Teebs, Saratoga. Captain Fantastic getting to the outside, and then comes Adnacon to the 200, and Fravashi sprinting quickly, and he is off and gone. Fravashi raced away, out by about a half length. Oh, he wants to hang in on top of Rockdale, but he's getting away from him now than Cat Don Teebs. But it's Fravashi in front, and Fravashi draws away, wins the sides brilliantly from Rockdale. Cat Don Teebs is third. Saratoga, I'd say, he's run fourth. Just a lip in front there of Adnacon, then Captain Fantastic. Further back on the field, then County Raider, Tambo Tiger, Privilege class, and a Status has tailed off. Well, he doesn't know much about racing. He hung in badly when Brown went for him. But once he pulled him away and straightened him up, he got clear and he drew away Fravashi.
The confirmation with correct weight on the size. Fravashi, an exciting Falbrav colt in Sheikh Mohammed's colours. We're going to get used to.
Smart, Al. 3 from 3.
Well, he's always looked at from day one. I think we said on this program weeks ago that, you know, if he was the horse that was coming here, he was always going to be the one to beat. The one thing I like about Fravashi, one thing I always like about good horses, I think if they look like a good horse, it makes you even like them more. And he's just a big size this year. Was probably not as good as we've seen in days gone by, but I think he's a very serious racehorse, and I think we'll be hearing more of him.
And Al? I wouldn't argue with you on that. I think he is a horse that can go on and maybe be a Group 1 contender in the spring. I think he's got plenty to learn. He's as green as grass, as you say, and he's one horse that can... I think he'd be ideally suited in a race like a Caulfield Guineas or something like that. I'm not sure that he's more than a sprinter miler. What do you think, Duff?
Yeah, look, I'm inclined to agree. Look, I think he's a top colt as well, and I think...
7, 3, 5 and 1. The next race on TVN is going to be the Conrad Treasury, the Queensland Oaks, Heavenly Glow. Can she make it the double? The AJC Australian Oaks at Randwick, and also the Queensland Oaks. We'll find out shortly. In the meeting, back to Flemington. Here's Bruce.
Thanks, Rich. Yeah, the punters think that she will, because you can see those totes there, 170, 150, 180. 180 is the rock-solid price offered by the bookmakers at and Miss Marin for Mick Price, TAB number 11. You can see the variations, 580, 570, 590. Well, not much variation.
They're set. Oh, Heavenly Glow's missed it. Heavenly Glow missed it. She came out last, and Thompson's going to head a beeline over towards the inside. Miss Marin from the rails, the first to go. Rathsella began well. Tipsy Piggy's going forward, and so is Magnifique Lass and Donor Morris and Pentura. Galileo's Daughter coming down the outside from Dandy, Top Win, and Moe Jolene back on the fence. Heavenly Glow scooted past a few, and then Pentacity, Monarchy, Princess, and Reva Sand, and Hindsight is last of all. Dandy, Top Win from Heavenly Glow. Reva Sand about to take off, 3 deep on the outside. Moe Jolene back on the rail, and then Pentacity and Monarchy, Princess, and Hindsight. They're at the 800 metres mark. Galileo's Daughter, 1 Pentura, Tipsy Piggy third, Magnifique Lass is fourth. Rathsella's on the fence from Donor Morris, and Reva Sand went round them. Miss Marin squeezing off the fence from Dandy, Top Win, and they're followed then by Heavenly Glow. It's coming deep as they come to the bend from Pentacity, Monarchy, Princess, Hindsight, and Moe Jolene. They're packed up as they corner on the Oaks. Galileo's Daughter, Pentura, Magnifique Lass, Donor Morris, Reva Sand, Dandy, Top Win, and here's Heavenly Glow out in the middle of the track, coming quickly, and so is Pentacity. Leo's Daughter leads at the 200. Pentura, Rathsella, Reva Sand, and Heavenly Glow, and Dandy, Top Win's coming. Heavenly Glow and Reva Sand on the outside have taken the lead from Rathsella. Heavenly Glow and Reva Sand, Rathsella. Reva Sand in the middle's doing best, and Reva Sand's going to win the Oaks from Rathsella. Heavenly Glow died the last little bit, and Dandy, Top Win fourth. Then Miss Marin, Galileo's Daughter, Hindsight. The next time was Monarchy, Princess, Moe Jolene, Donor Morris, Pentura, Tipsy Piggy, and Pentacity, and last home Magnifique Lass.
Big day for PG Moody. He wins with Reva Sand. He went with Tantat Delago. A Group 1 Queensland Oaks, and Scotty Seamer does it again here for Moody. Good old team that, Moody and Seamer. Had got a long way back in the Doomben Roses, was able to come.
What happened?
That result for the stable and all the connections involved with Reva Sand and
Yeah, Peter Moody, and well done, Pete. Scott Seamer aboard, Rathsella and Heavenly Glow. Let's hear from the beaten jockeys.
And we've been quite successful.
Scott, was this your suspension yesterday? Was it through this race where you come out onto Dandy Top Win? Was that the incident?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, was Dandy Top Win going to be in the finish?
I reckon it was.
It might have been.
It was
didn't
given
finish
that there wasn't much between the winner and the second, and it was going with them, you'd have to think it would be in that bunch up there in the first three. It'd be 2 lengths closer than it was there. Just too slow to. The ground was just too soft for her to accelerate again after copping that Pratt.
Well, Glenn Schofield...
They always think it's only worth a reprimand. I'll make a statement here. I don't know why I do this, because they come back to haunt me later.
I love doing it.
Those three that went 1, 2, 3, that's their last... There won't be any more Group 1 wins for any of them.
Oh, thanks, Scoop. Oh, thanks.
Well, you agree or not agree?
Well,
do you agree?
The averages are in your favour.
Do you agree?
Probably.
Yeah, is that a yes or a no?
Probably.
Oh, you gutless wonder.
Well, Scott's got probably goes on. At this stage, we're talking about Reva Sand going on. Rathsella, if it continues to please Russell Cameron, she'll run next week in the Derby as well.
We might only have to wait a week. We might only have to wait a week. I thought that'd be one of them will win a Group.
I've made the statement. I'm happy to be wrong for the owners, but
so
that's what I think.
If they win a Group 1 next week, what are you going to do?
Yeah, come on. Oh, we're waiting for this.
Well, actually, the thing is, we'll be live in Brisbane, trackside at Eagle Farm, and they can all come out.
Have a big audience.
Spleen in on it.
They'll come out and scream blue murder and throw things, and I'll cop enough. Don't worry.
I see.
Okay. All right.
By the way,
okay. All right.
By the way, I hadn't calculated on next week.
We're getting this way now.
Shot Ronnie and I, because you blokes in Melbourne, you just will not have a go.
Moatised, Mission Critical.
Quite right.
Patushki's third favourite, fair dinkum. Well, that is a race that lacks depth.
And where are those fillies?
Where's the fillies, exactly? I'd say Moatised, Mission Critical, 6 lengths back to the fillies.
This is the QTC Cup, the 1,200 metre race heads, now 1,300 metre race, heading into the Stradbroke next week. It was 1,200 metres, and for so much of its life, if you won this race, you couldn't win the Stradbroke. Not one horse ever completed the QTC Cup Stradbroke double, and that included the likes of the mighty Scalacci. He'd win the QTC Cup, but not the Stradbroke. Now it's 1,300 metres. And that might change. Now, it's $4 a field. Chinchilla Rose is the $4 betting ring for one win. This gets back to $7 now, and that's probably about where the chances go. Frisco's Vision's at...
The gates open and they're off and racing, and Matani near the inside was one of the first to go. Aladullah and Equates from out wide began quickly, and Black Ink's going forward. When they settle fully into stride, it's Equates running to the lead. Aladullah second, Black Ink is third, and Easy Rockers fourth, and Matani, he's up there fifth on the inside. Chinchilla Equates the leader, 3 parts to Black Ink, and there goes Sequa straight up quickly on the outside. Daunting Lad fourth outside, Aladullah. Easy Rockers getting a lovely run in the middle. Chinchilla Rose on its back. Matani close to the fence. Then comes Mr. Hornblower, Frisco's Vision, followed by Bear Country and Street Smarters last. They're coming around the bend, 450 out. Sequa straight outside, Black Ink and Equates. They led from Aladullah, Daunting Lad. Plenty of room now for Easy Rocker to pick up. And then comes the Chinchilla Rose down the outside. Black Ink in front at the 250 from Equates. Easy Rockers going through. And then Daunting Lad, Chinchilla Rose down the outside. It's Black Ink and Easy Rocker there together. Chinchilla Rose is finishing quickly on the outside. Black Ink, Easy Rocker with Chinchilla Rose chiming in. Chinchilla Rose is grabbing them, and Chinchilla Rose got up to beat Black Ink and Easy Rocker. It's a photo for fourth. Mr. Hornblower, Frisco's Vision and Daunting Lad. They're the 3 in that. Then Street Smart, Bear Country, Equate, Sequa Straight, Matani, and Aladullah's pulled up at the end.
She gets into the Stradbroke now, number 6, Chinchilla Rose, perfectly timed by Steve Baster to claim victory in the QTC Cup and steal.
Yep, Stradbrokes next week, as we know. Stephen Baster for Steel Rhine. Alan?
No horse has ever won that race and won the Stradbroke.
Oh.
Some good horses have tried.
Look, the year Hariba won this race, I said, well, that's it. Now, this is the year. This is going to put this bogey straight over the fence. And he was first beaten at the furlong. And I've got a sneaking suspicion, did Scalacci win this race as well?
Yes, he did, and he ran 5th in the Stradbroke.
And he got bowled over.
Saying that, if any horse deserves a free ride into the Stradbroke out of this race, it is the winner, Chinchilla Rose. She's a nice filly and got the job done well there, and she'll run well. I thought Black Ink was terrific. It's not any really...
One horse that won't be is Matani. It's been taken out of the race. There's the markets. Casino Prince will get to its gallop shortly, but the rest of them, gee, it's going to be a good race. Barriers will be crucial.
Certainly is. Alan.
Now, we might get there nice and early at Belmont as they're getting around to the start for the big one. We've been looking forward to this, the Roma Cup. Let's head west to Darren.
Arctic Park, they've got it down to 2 only in the big one of the day. OK, well, let's get anticipated. Roma Cup field is set alight. They're racing. Royal Lot missed the jump. Lashino won the start with Arctic Park and Special Reserve out very quickly. Marasco's going to settle down in the back half of the field, and Pike is having to really push him along. And El Presidente is going to settle down, running about 6th as they go up to the back turn. Special Reserve's the El Presidente. A length and a half away, then Arroyo Gold, Tarzi, Raymond Time splitting them. Marasco's a minute from these leaders. He's well back with Local Legend coming down the side. Scenic Assault, Royal Lot, and last of all is Electric General. Up nearing the turn, about 450 to go. The former New Zealand mare Special Reserve in front in the Roma Cup. Comes around the corner in front of Arctic Park. Third, Lashino. Then West River Charlie angling to the outside. A length and a half to Gestatune. El Presidente threading his way through, starting to pick up, and the Mighty M's coming from back in the field. Arctic Park, though, reaches the lead, but here comes the Prez. El Presidente stormed up and grabbed the lead. Marasco, no hope. El Presidente got the better of Arctic Park, and El Presidente back with a spectacular win in the Roma Cup. El Presidente beat Arctic Park. Third home, Arroyo Gold. Marasco's run 4th. Then Lashino, Special Reserve, and Roman Time. Followed further back, Marasco's run 4th.
Well, what do you make out of that?
I think he's a serious spring prospect.
He's the #1 horse in Perth at the moment, isn't he?
I agree.
Over Marasco.
Yeah.
He's now rocketed to #1 on the charts over there.
I know, he's a beauty. I think we should follow him with interest.
You're over to the east for the...
Oh, it was the spring, I'd say.
Spring, yeah.
Cox Plate is the race they've got in mind there, Graham. So Yeah, look, he's got to get a long way to get there, but this is a pretty good horse.
He's a serious contender in the spring, there's no question about that. But bear one thing in mind, it got the right run in transit, as opposed to Marasco, that had to do a lot of work, and he's had that run this time in too, over the 1200. Hey, just needs a bit further now. He's going very well indeed.
And what else is there to report in the Derby? It's a massive field of 3-year-olds. Reva Sand, the filly, the winner of the Oaks here last week at $7, and Rath Salah, who ran a very good race in the Oaks at $9.40. So summing up, gee, Mission Critical's a big price. He's been around the...
Paul Moroney, or Mike Moroney, thinks that he's not as good on the wet, but by gee, the $8 and $9 is just ridiculous. A horse of his ability that makes he makes his own luck on top of the speed, which is an advantage here today. And look, there's another horse you can make a little case for here, Rainbow Styling, number 11. That's all you want in some of these 3-year-old derbies. Other horses to look, well, I've got to give a rap to these stablemates. Oh, gee, they're paraded and look an absolute treat. 7's on top here, though. That's Moa Ties. Hardest to beat the fillies from the Oaks. That's Reva Sand and Rathsala.
And they're racing now, and Moa Ties left okay in the middle of the line. Rainbow Styling from Barrier 1, the first to go from Donor Morrison, Circle of Fame. Here's Don't Call Me Bruce, and Moa Ties is going forward, and Mission Critical and Norse Code and 4D are coming down the outside to the line the first time, and Don't Call Me Bruce goes to the lead from Norse Code. Mission Critical third, Rainbow Styling is fourth, and Moa Ties is fifth in the middle. They're followed by 900 from home in the Derby. Don't Call Me Bruce by 1, Norse Code second, 2 to 4D. Rainbow Styling fourth on the fence from My Limit. Mission Critical been urged along now. They're followed then by Donor Morris, Formula Run Racer. Now Moa Ties, he's still travelling okay. He's between runners. He needs galloping room. Haviyan's tracking him. Then Rathsala. Reva Sand picking up ground on the fence from Circle of Fame. Delzar, Bell Academy, Innovator. My New Best Friend, Patushki. Where's Henry? And My Sweet Cookie. Last as the Derby fill. Thunders for home. Norse Code hit the front of the top of the straight. Rainbow Styling come after him from 4D. They're followed then by My Limit coming down the outside, and there's a split coming now from Moa Ties, and Reva Sand is sprinting quickly on the outside to the 200. Reva Sand went to the lead from Rainbow Styling. Moa Ties trying to quicken up, and then Patushki, but it's Reva Sand the leader with 100 metres left to go. She's clear from Patushki and Moa Ties, and Reva Sand, the Oaks Derby double to the filly, and Reva Sand bolted in from Patushki, Moa Ties. Rainbow Styling fourth in front of 4D, followed by Where's Henry. Formula One Racer, My Limit, followed by Mission Critical. Bell Academy, Donor Morris. Rathsala couldn't go home today. The next home, Delzar, followed by Innovator. Circle of Fame, Don't Call Me Bruce. Have a Yarn, Norse Code, My New Best Friend. And last home in the race was My Sweet Cookie. P. Moody, Takeover. Takeover. Great training performance, P. Moody, and a great ride from Jimmy Byrne. And I think Reva Sand becomes only the fourth horse to win the Oaks Derby double. The other three...
Look, she was hard fit today. She had that going for her.
Yeah, she simply outstayed them there, Matt. At one stage, halfway down the straight there. Interesting, you know, look at whether she goes for a race like the Caulfield Cup. But it'll be interesting to see if Richard Friedman turns up at work tomorrow. He said they'll never win another Group 1, these fillies. It's only taken a week.
Exactly right. He's got to get on that plane and come up here and just won the Derby. We'd love you to come along and join us too if you're watching in the Brisbane area. Eagle Farm Racecourse.
Peter Moody and Jimmy Byrne. Jimmy will be joining us in just a moment. Patushki second, and Moa Ties was third. Now let's just start off with speaking with...
you know, thankfully yesterday it was never like that.
Jim, the winning move looked to me at the half mile where you could have had the favourites back and you decided to get momentum up and go where they run into dead ends, and you give her the like I say, the momentum run. And would you agree that was the winning move?
Yeah, funnily enough, I around about the 900 I tried to move off, and Have a Yarn was in front of me and wasn't really handling the track too well, so I tried to manoeuvre my way off the fence a little bit, and I actually got shoved basically back onto the fence and took heels a little bit, and she blundered a little bit, and shortly after that you know, I was able to get her off and start moving forward.
Did that do you a favour?
Thankfully, all yesterday, you know, she was happy in the run.
Jimmy, did you by any chance happen to watch Racing Retro last week?
I did, yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you? Did any? I wonder if the people in the audience happened to watch Racing Retro last week. Somehow I think they may have.
Do they get it up here?
Well, Well, let's refresh our memories.
Okay.
Folks, let's just go back to Racing Retro last week.
I'll make a statement here. I don't know why I do this, because they come back to haunt me later.
I love doing it.
Those three that went 1, 2, 3, that's their last. There won't be any more Group 1 wins for any of them.
They've come to see you.
Well,
they've come to see you.
In defence of this statement, in defence of this statement, I will say this: for 2 out of the 3 so far, I'm right. Yeah. Right? And for the other one, I didn't calculate on the 1 week backup, and B, I'm only 1 week out with the statement. Right? The statement still stands as of now. What about
Tempting herself to be something special.
One of the difficulties for all 3-year-olds going to their 4-year-old year is that the jump in weight and the jump from their own company, their own age group, to open company where they've got to take on all comers with more weight is a hell of a jump.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, like, obviously she's got...
Chelmsford at $3.30. And, of course, here at Eagle Farm, the Stradbroke Handicap is only 9 minutes away. Runners are parading, jockeys are up, and they'll be heading out shortly. There's the latest tote betting. Casino Prince at $6.40 has got out just a fraction here on course at this stage, but he is the favourite on track. The only other horses under 10 at this stage are Pinnacles, which is just inside single figures, and also Vormister, which is slightly shorter than Pinnacles. They are the only 3. Casino Prince, Pinnacles and Vormister at single figure odds for the 7th event. And El Cambio.
Favourite has drifted in the last little bit of betting. The best back runner by far is El Cambio. It's in 2 points on course. Very, very well tried. It's the second elect. Then it's out to number 10.
We got this bit of an awkward draw, drawn out in 20, but you know, it's something that is not really going to phase.
They're off on the Stradbroke, and Pinnacles near the inside jumped out OK. Sniper's Bullet was slow to move. He's gone back towards the tail, and Swiss Ace was the first to go and leads with Blank Egg. Diplomatic Forces up there, and Omni Trader, that's a line of 4. Just behind those, Mr. Baritone, followed by Murder Jill. Casino Prince about 7th, followed by Pinnacles, and Heli Decker scooting quickly on the outside. So too is El Cambio, then Absolute Glam, followed then by Vormister, German Chocolate. Sniper's Bullet wide from Ice Chariot, and getting back is hard to catch Chinchilla Rose. Double Dare, Swick, and last of all Atapi. 700 to run. Omni Trader the leader, 1 to Swiss Ace. Black Ink 3rd. Diplomatic Force is running 4th, and they're being closely followed then by Heli Deck, which is going up wide. Just behind those on the fences, Pinnacles. Murder Jill is up with that bunch. El Cambio's behind them. Absolute Glamour's next. Casino Prince back on the inside of Vormister from German Chocolate as they corner. Black Ink went through. He led at the 400 from Omni Trader. Swiss Ace came at him, so did Pinnacles. Diplomatic Force. Here's Absolute Glam coming down the outside from Mr. Baritone, and Chinchilla Roses coming down the extreme outside late. Black Ink leads inside the 200 metres mark. Absolute Glam hard to catch. Chinchilla Rose. Double Dares jumping up out of the ground. Mr. Baritone's grabbed the lead. Hard to catch coming down the outside. Mr. Baritone in front. Mr. Baritone has won the Stradbroke. Ellipta hard to catch. It's a photo 3rd, Double Dare or Absolute Glam in front of Chinchilla Rose. Omni Trader, Black Ink, Casino Prince, the 57 got him. Further back on the field then came German Chocolate, Sniper's Bullet, Swick, Atapi, Vormister, Murder Jill, Diplomatic Force, Swiss Ace. Pinnacles a long way back, followed by El Cambio. He's finished near last with Heli Deck and Ice Chariot. With the white cap coming down the outside. But Mr. Baritone just in front, and Mr. Baritone, I'd say, has probably just won it.
It's been a great, great season. We've had a mixed run with losing excellent and jokers.
Well, back to his pet distance here with no weight on his back, and what a day for this young Murphy, young Sebastian Murphy. He's the new kid on the block, this young rider, and to win his, I'd suggest his first Group 1 here in Queensland is a real feather in his cap. He's a real rider for the future, this young man, and he's got anchored with his big weight Casino Prince, and El Cambio, well, he's just a real duffer in the going. He compounded quickly in the straight, but look, a fit horse, another backup horse. It's just amazing, some of these horses that are backing up here today. You just got to have residual fitness on your side. Tracks.
Yeah, on the 7-day backup, as you say. It went around in the Edward Williams handicap last week. It ran 3rd there behind Litter and probably looked to have its chance as well. But as you say, a bit fitter today. The heavy track. There's a wow. Look at that first 4. $389,209. That's got to be some sort of record first 4 on Super Tab. it's paid $971,000. I know there was a massive carryover jackpot going into the Stradbroke this afternoon, but some
narrowly, but nonetheless it got home. It's by Stravinsky, Mr. Baritone. Now, before we speak with Michael, let's have
because he certainly got to the front at the right time and delivered a great ride.
A couple of jocks started to scout a bit wide in the straight, and Sebastian stayed within 2 or 3 of the inside rail. It seemed to be just as good in there. Did you think that before the race?
Yeah, we did. We thought it was pretty even everywhere. Even though the one in the Derby, the race before, had come to the outside, but then it's just 2,400 metre race, which is totally different. And that, just watching the races earlier, we thought it was quite even.
What's the association with this young Sebastian Murphy with your stable?
Look, Sebastian's always done a lot of riding for us, especially when he was coming through claiming. I think he's won a couple on this horse, and we...
Casino Prince and Pinnacles, they handled the heavy in the Doncaster, and they never handled that track at all yesterday.
Yeah.
How do you work it out?
Well, all tracks are different surfaces. They're different foundations on tracks, and some horses can handle some wet tracks and some can't. Others, they can't pick their feet up. Cambio, he was just hopeless in the going there yesterday, and which proves the track was the race. Look, I know we're on a wet track, and there was excuses for some. There was a 500 to 1 chance there. Omni Trader sort of bobbing there at the finish within a length and a half.
You don't rate Mr. Baritone? You've got the trainer sitting right here.
You have to rate him. He's a Stradbroke. He's $1 million earner.
Yeah, he sure is.
What do we just put it down to handicap racing, guys?
Do you think he'll win another Group 1?
Do you think he'll win another Group 1?
Well, you. Look, it's going to be harder in handicaps there. Harder in handicaps, but you've got to say his record, 32 starts. I think he's only finished out the money twice. He's been a great horse for the owners and that, and he's looked smart at times.
Casino Prince, as we know, is retired to stud. Vor Mist will be vetted in the next couple of days whether she goes on to the Winter Stakes in a couple of weeks. Swick.
All right, now around about 8:30 a.m. this morning, our time, Big Brown was going for the Triple Crown at Belmont. He was about $1.10, I think, in Australia. Here's what happened.
Belmont Stakes, the Tara's opened up, a 5-length lead, and Big Brown has been eased at the top of the stretch. They're coming into the final furlong. The Tara is the leader by 5 lengths here. Dennis of Cork trying to reel him in with 1 furlong to go, and the Tara ducks out. Now he ducks in, desperate for the final 16th of a mile, but he's going to do it here. Here's a shocking wire-to-wire win in the Belmont Stakes at 38 to 1. It is the Tara. He wins by 4 lengths. The Triple Crown.
Now Big Brown was actually shorter than that. It was 25 to 1 on. And it was the first horse beaten.
No, look, the People's Champ. Look, the horse that was going to resurrect racing worldwide. All eyes were on him, and
worth $100 million.
He failed to finish.
It's a very hard thing to do, win that Triple Crown, and one of the reasons it might be hard is because there are different drug rules in different states in the United States, and even during the week, I believe the trainer of Big Brown said he wasn't going to get his customary anabolic steroid, and Big Brown took no part in the race. I don't know.
That's your conspiracy theory.
It's not a conspiracy theory.
You don't get pulled up on the turn.
Well, I'm not saying that caused you to be pulled up on the turn.
There's more to it.
It's a very tricky thing to win that Triple Crown in different states.
Well, at this stage, boys, the reports are, considering the race was only a short time ago, is that Kent de Sormo, the jockey, said there was nothing wrong with the horse. He just never travelled. They eased him up. He wanted to protect him because he's got a big stallion career coming up. But as we speak right now, there is nothing physically wrong or being found.
Late scratching out of the Brisbane Cup. The track has been downgraded to heavy, Ron?
Yeah, just had a few showers the last couple of races, just opened it up, so we're working off a heavy. This horse is proven in the heavy, the short price favourite, Fravashi. He's a lovely animal, a class act, in fact. Look, I'm anticipating him.
3 starts for 3 wins, but this is just another little rise in class for him, isn't it?
Yeah, look, Group 1 racing now, but obviously there's only 5 runners here, Matt, and he's proven in the going. Up to a mile, it's always a new level, but judging him on the size produce win last time, he gives every indication he'll run it right out.
They're off and racing now, and Fravashi was one of the first to leave the gates, and Rockdale out wide, and Butane Dane near the inside are going for speed, and they're cleared out from Captain Fantastic and Barchia Moore last of all. Through the first 200, and Rockdale goes to a clear lead, out by at the 700, and Rockdale's got a clear lead. He's out by 2. Butane Dane a second, a length and a half to Fravashi. He's now been asked to go forward on the outside of Captain Fantastic, and 2 to Barchia Moore as last. The TJ Smith fifth field of 5. Thunders for home, 4.50 to go. Rockdale the leader. Out by a length, the Butane Dane. Now Fravashi is going to be given full rein on the outside, and they're followed then by Barchia Moore. Fravashi's under a lot of pressure. Brown's forced to go for the weapon. Rockdale is the leader at the 200 from Butane Dane. Fravashi levelling up, and Barchia Moore's coming down the outside, but Rockdale the leader. Barchia Moore on the outsides after Rockdale. Rockdale the leader. Barchia Moore trying to pick it up, can't get there, and Rockdale leads all the way to win the TJ from Barchia Moore. Fravashi was third, and there's not much for fourth between Captain Fantastic and Butane Dane, and the favourite's gone. Well, he was in trouble when they cornered. Brown was the...
At Randwick shortly, but here's Graham and Ron here at Eagle Farm with the latest on the guineas.
Matt, just before that, we've had news that Fravashi has...
He has pulled up lame, Graham, so maybe some excuse there. Reed Sanders reports that Fravashi has pulled up lame.
Okay. All right, now, Tantat Delago is the favourite for the guineas and has been well tried, similar to what you're getting on the tote. Second elect, clearly Royal Discretion. You are getting value on the tote about that. Turfontaine is in the market, pretty steady.
The favourite on course and with support is Tantat Delago. Royal Discretion is now in 20 cents late. And just looking at one at longer...
1600. The gates open and they're off in the guineas. AC Doocy was slow to move at the start, and Morna Teresa's going back to the tail, and Royal Discretion the first to go from Turfontaine. Tantat Delago began quickly, will settle third, and the insider Cool Dukes last. Royal Discretion at the 700 by 2. Turfontaine breathing down its neck now. Woody and Buzz third. Tantat Delago's had a good run on the fence, and they're followed by Cool Duke. Vandalo's been wide from Encosta Zoo. Walking or Dancing and Pepperwood going around them wide. Morna Treese nearer the fence as they corner, and then Prima over and further back Anna McCory and AC Doocy. Royal Discretion at the 400 the leader. Turfontaine coming after it, so is Woody and Buzz. Tantat Delago nearer the inside, and Pepperwood are starting to run on. Turfontaine shot to the front from Royal Discretion at the 200 from Woody and Buzz. Morna Treese and Pepperwood battling home, but it's Turfontaine the leader. A length over Royal Discretion with 50 metres left to go, and Turfontaine's going to go home and win the guineas. Turfontaine beat Royal Discretion. Pepperwood, I think, third in front of Tantat Delago from Morna Treese, Cool Duke. Prima Nova, Anna McCory, AC Doocy. Woody and Buzz next. Then comes Vandalo. Walking or Dancing's a long way back. Turfontaine the winner. The Doomben 10,000 form stood up. And number 2, Turfontaine, ridden by Danny Nicklick. At $8 the win, $2.50 the place. Takes out the guineas. You got to be on
of horses, Anthony. It's nice to go home with one of the big ones.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and he's a deserving winner too. I mean, he's had really good form all the way through from Melbourne to Sydney to here, and for him to sort of show up today and show his best form is quite heartening.
Yeah, we were saying before the race he has been up for quite some time. He's obviously a pretty tough fellow.
Well, he is. He's about as tough as you and me, I'd say. So.
All right, Lanya.
Okay, thanks, mate.
Well done to Anthony Cummings.
And first couple of races they sat on the fence. Next couple of races they went to the middle, and now they're starting to get to the outside track. So you're trying to find those lanes, and basically where the track hasn't been broken.
Not easy.
No.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you.
It's Jimmy Byrne, Doug's mate there on screen, $15 at the moment on the Uni tab. And Dan Nicklick, of course, won the previous race here, the Queensland Guineas at Group 2. He's looking for another good winner with Scattergun, which is currently the second pick on the TAB there at 8 sale on the Brisbane Cup. Stable is the favourite at $3.30. It certainly pays to be up handy here at Eagle Farm today. How's this?
And they're racing now. Rezone through his head in the air when the gates open, and Sky Biscuit over near the inside, the first to go. Chief coming first, began okay, so did Roman Arse, Fast Future, King Latimus going up, so is Love You Leo, and the Sportsman, and View's going to settle midfield. Have a look at them go to the first corner here. Fast Future, King Latimus. The Sportsman went up to make a line of 3. Now, Chief coming first is going Arch and Viewed striding up 3 deep. Chief coming first is over on the inside. Sportsman leads at the 1,000. Oliver wasn't happy. He's let Viewed go. He's going to sit up second outside the speed now. And on the top corner at the 1,000, the Sportsman the leader by 2. Viewed races second. Love You Leo third. Fast Future with a good run on the fence. Fourth been trailed by Scattergun outside King Latimus. Then Chief coming first, followed by Noble Arch. Now, or Roman Arch. Scenic Shot is taking off on the outside, followed then by Sky Biscuit, and then Devastating. Doug's Mate is next. Tommy Franks is still a little bit wide, followed by Rezone, and then comes Terrific and Full Monty last of all. The pressure's on coming up to the home turn, and Fast Future on the inside. The Sportsman and Viewed a line of 3. Scattergun's gone up fourth on the point of the corner. Scenic Shots trying to get on their backs from Love You Leo and Tommy Franks and Terrific coming to the outside. Viewed shot to the front past the 400. He's clear. Scattergun about to run at a second, followed though the Sportsman. Love You Leo's next, but Viewed, he's a mile in front past the 200. He's in front of about 5 or 6 horses, including Scenic Shot and Full Monty, but it's all Viewed. The cup's all over. This is an annihilation. Viewed 6 in front, close to home, and he'll bolt in. Viewed by 7 lengths to Full Monty. Sky Biscuit third, just in front of Scenic Shot, then Doug's Mate. The Sportsman, Scattergun, Terrific. Further back on the field, Rezone, Love You Leo, followed by Devastating, Tommy Franks, King Latimus, Fast Future, Roman Arch, and last time in the race, Chief coming first. Oh, what a win. What a win. Viewed has absolutely annihilated them in the Brisbane Cup. That goes back to that horse, Dupain. The race was over 2 mile, I know, at the time, but he won the Brisbane Cup like this. But not as far as that. That is not as far as that. That's a margin. And it is that's 7 lengths, isn't it? Full Monty second, Sky Biscuit third, and Very Game Scenic Shot will wind up in 4th position. Number 5, Viewed, Damien Oliver for Bart Cummings. Oh, he just sat up on it. Well, he was 3 deep the entire. Ollie said, no, I can't sit out here. I'll go forward and sit outside the Sportsman.
And it was an absolute cakewalk, Bart Cummings.
Yeah, it was surprising how well he handled the wet. But I always thought he would be a good stayer. They were thoughts of sending him to Hong Kong to race, but we talked him out of that.
So he got caught
here in Australia.
He got caught a little bit wide in the early stages. He was out there 3 wide. Were you a bit worried about that?
I told him to get out there. I think that's the best place to be.
How good's this horse, Bart? Is he going to come back in the spring and be another Cups horse for you, perhaps?
I'll say no more. The pitch is better than 1,000 words. Did you see what happened?
Well, tell me this. This used to be 3,200 metres. This race, the Brisbane Cup. Can he run 2 miles? Do you think?
I can't see why he shouldn't. That's heavy going today. It's like a 1 3/4 really in normal conditions. So yeah, I'd say he could.
And you know the cruel part of come back and make a decent stayer. I think the weight, he's run 4th. Look, it was a very honest performance by Scenic Shot with that big weight on his back, but I think that was probably the telling factor.
Yeah, it was. The weight did tell on him. He travelled up coming to the turn. I thought, oh, you're the horse to beat. But like I say, over this distance on testing conditions, it's always very, very hard. Full Monty, he's run the race of his life into 2nd place there, but it's hard to make an excuse when a horse bolts mid-race, sits out 3 deep, no cover, and races away to win a Brisbane Cup like that. It's hard to single anything out behind him.
It certainly is, and Damien.
Anyway, so I just let him roll up near the lead, and as I said, the further he went, the stronger he got.
Is he a spring horse, do you think?
He could well be, particularly on soft ground, yeah.
Is there
the feature event from Belmont this afternoon sees El Presidente just heading Marasco, half a point between the duo. We'll take a break and come back with impressively with a win in the Group 3 Roma Cup last start. Here's the $2.10 favourite on the tote. And Marasco, who's won in Group 3 and listed company before that 4th placing in the Roma Cup last start, the 2nd pick.
Of the Belmont Sprint. They're away. Harvey dug Marasco up out of the gates. El Presidente left quickly, and so did West River Charlie, who's going to surge to the front from Local Legend and Ripped, and Clate is going to send the Prez up there in the firing line. Marasco being bustled along on the inside of Storm Blitz as they settle down. Then Tarzi back along the side past the 700. Local Legend 5th. Marasco cluttered away on the inside as Tarzi and Overlock start to take off, and Marasco found himself back 3rd last at the 600, but it's a bunching field, and they're being followed by Arroyo Gold and Royal Lot. They're tightly packed up coming around the corner in the Belmont Sprint. West River Charlie in front, about a neck over El Presidente. Looked to be going very well against Claty, and then 2 lengths away, Ripped into the clear. Back behind the Marasco's tracked up very well, and then came Local Legend. Arroyo Gold got chopped out going up near the fence. El Presidente tackled by Ripped. Now Marasco on the rail, bursting through very quickly. It's Marasco shooting through against the fence, takes the lead. Arroyo Gold gets to 2nd from Ripped, but Marasco turns the tables around and has won the Belmont Sprint in great style. Marasco beat Arroyo Gold. Could have been a bit stiff in the straight from Ripped, followed by Royal Lot. El Presidente weakened out of it. Then came Tarzi, Local Legend, Storm Blitz and Overlock, with West River Charlie trailing them home. A feature race double today for Paul Harvey. Marasco got back third last. The field bunched up tightly though, and he persevered with the rails run. And Marasco has accelerated away with El Presidente buckling at the 300-metre mark when...
Marasco returning to the winners list.
Oh, well, actually, we said 2 weeks ago that his run was still very good. He was a victim of barriers. Yesterday, this was just a great ride. And how barriers change things around. El Presidente up outside the leader. You wouldn't have thought he was that close, but as he began quite well, he had to do that. But Marasco was absolutely fantastic. The second horse there also got held up a little bit. He was actually behind Marasco in the early part of the race and tried to sort of go up on the inside, Arroyo Gold. And he's a horse that's going along okay as well. But bear in mind...
Olsen is with me. Larry, your late mail numbers here in the Group 1 Winter Stakes.
I'm going for the local mare Vietnam. 8, 15, 18 and 3 is where we're going, Steve. Vietnam now, the run she's had this time, she's a lot shorter on the tote. I think she'll get out for the mate of Absolute Glam. I thought it looked particularly well. A couple of others, Matt. I thought the 7 has been support for it. Vormista looked terrific. I've just been a bit concerned about the tracks with it. And the 7 or 13 was the other one I did like the look of. It was Litter. So I thought she looked particularly well in the enclosure. But Vietnam fit and well. I think with the...
From the Winter Stakes, and absolutely fabulous was slow to move at the start, and Alverta and Bella Valentina were the first of two to come out of the gates, and Calcris will go fast and head them off. And on settling down, Calcris leads Bella Valentina. There goes Fabiana and Dance Girl Dance quickly on the outside. Alverta into a good spot early, running fifth. Nama's back third last with Apasu and Street Smart. 600 metres left to go. Calcris 1 to Dance Girl Dance, 2.5 to Fabiana, 2 Bella Valentina, a half Alverta on the outside, 2 to Fritz's Princess, then Absolute Glam. Vormista's tracking those, and then comes Litter, followed by Soul Diva, Quizzical Lady, and further back is Animato. Calcris at the 400 and Dance Girl Dance led Bella Valentina. Alverta coming up on the outside, Fritz's Princess, Fabiana. Absolute Glam's been called upon. Vormista's coming down the outside to the 200 metres mark, and Alverta in the middle went up with Absolute Glam and Vormista on the outside. Bella Valentina fights back, but Absolute Glam on the outside's taken the lead from Alverta, and then Fritz's Princess, and Absolute Glam draws away, wins the Winter Stakes from Fritz's Princess. Alverta, Vormista fourth, absolutely fabulous, a big run fifth, Vietnam sixth from Soul Diva, Lasser on Animato, Bella Valentina, Litter, Jus Mamot and Apasu, followed by Street Smart. The next home, Calcris, Sequential Charm, Dance Girl Dance, Fabiana, Quizzical Lady, and last home in the race is Satsang.
Absolute Glam, ridden by James Winks, wins the big one here today, and I've got Danny O'Brien walking over towards me. Danny, final Group 1 race of the Australian racing season. It's a good way to finish the racing year, isn't it?
It is. It's fantastic. We've just won 2 races in 10 minutes. One just before the race in the Stewardroom, and yeah, that filly really deserved to win a Group 1. Her form's been outstanding all season without a lot of luck, and she's really put the score on the board today.
Well, that was a big run in the Stradbroke handicap, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3-year-old filly to run like that. She's going to be a really good mare next season, and you know, she doesn't have...
leading into this race, and she got to the line quite well. No, she couldn't be distracted by it, but this other filly had the more basic training under her belt, and that really...
She's really thrived up here, so she probably doesn't need a big break.
Yeah, what sort of race in the spring would you have your eye on?
She'd be heading towards the Maya Classic on Derby Day, and then the Emirates Stakes the following Saturday.
Yeah, big day for Danny Boy. Fritz's Princess second, Alverta third. Let's hear from the beaten jock.
Speed on paper, it was really truly running. It just suited my filly down the ground, and like I said, I lobbed in a great spot, and she did the rest.
She was strong at the finish too, wasn't she? Like the last little bit she gets away. But going back to what we said in the previews yesterday, she had Stradbroke handicap form, and coming back against her own sex, she was always going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, it's great.
Got an early check, and Fritz's Princess, who ran second, she basically raced level peggings with the winner.
and the winner got to the outside and got the beautiful clear run. She had to weave through a bit, and she got a little bit of a prat there. Would never have beaten the winner. Maybe should have finished half a length closer, but I think she could have possibly been the victim of barrier one there, Richard, because she normally gets so far back and has got an electric finish from barrier one. She was ridden a little bit closer on that frantic pace, and she didn't have as much zip at the finish, but still a very good effort.
Ascot on Sky Channel 415. Let's confirm the betting then for the first Group 1. The Queen Anne Stakes, 9-2, Harada Sun from Australia, now trained by Aidan O'Brien. Tariq advises Dargina.
That's for sure. Well, Matt, we were talking to David Williams at Ladbrokes earlier on. He thinks that Harada Sun is a certainty to start favourite. It looks like he's going to.
It looks like he's going to. There was early opposition this morning to it, but then the exchanges got going. It's come into favouritism. You look at the form of the horse. He's got to reproduce his Australian form. Clearly, it's been really well galloped at Ballydoyle.
Yes.
The Irish people know that this thing is back to his best. Now, remember, I was in the betting ring for Channel 4 when Harada Sun ran in the...
We're racing on a very, very quick track. Dargina still the favourite on the UK tote.
A bit of her best form last time out, but no one predicted this. Favourite for the Queen Anne Stakes, Mike, is Finchgale Beer.
Beaten 3.5 lengths. Harada Sun for me in the opener at Royal Ascot. Let's go and have a word with Matt.
Al Alton started to wipe the sweat off Sajberg's neck, which is not always a...
If they were sweating. Should help the horses. I think it's a sensible...
2008, away to a fairly level break towards the rear early. Tariq is dropped out along with Cesare. Honoured Guest is the early pace setter, and it looks as though David McCabe is making across towards the stand side here, stalls out in the centre, and he's getting across to the stands rail. Leads to Harada Sun, his stable companion in second in the red cap, then back to Mount Nelson on the further back from Cesare, then Spirito del Vento, and Tariq in the dark green jacket is still the back marker. They're racing for the final 2.5 furlongs. Honoured Guest is still the hare here, the one to catch from Lingari in second. He's at Harada Sun. Finchgale Beer with a chance. Dargina pulled out in the noseband from Sajberg. Cesare going very well in behind runners as they now group together and head towards the final furlong. Finchgale Beer strikes on from Dargina. Sajberg. Tariq staging a run on the wide outside. Harada Sun is responding to pressure under the rail. They race inside the final furlong. Bunch finish. Harada Sun has fought his way back into the lead from Dargina and Finchgale Beer as they race up to the line. Dargina and Harada Sun on the nod. Harada Sun may just have got there from Dargina. Cesare flying home in third.
Harada Sun's won the Queen Anne. It didn't look like it in running, that's for sure. The judges caught a photograph, but it's almost... Oh, it has. It's won by a good head. Dargina, and very interesting. Harada Sun, Mac, the first one looked beaten, the first one off the bridle, and they quickened the tempo, 2.5 out.
The market told you. It told you it would not win at Newbury. It told it had a huge chance here. And here comes the result coming in now. Harada Sun wins the races.
37.21 from Ramonte, but it is faster than the Racing Post standard.
Well, you can see that these are class animals, and Finchgale Beer, and I think of all the training feats that Aidan O'Brien's done down the years, and there have been numerous and many that were ranked very high on the list to bring this back to its best Australian form.
It could easily be the start of what could be a fantastic day for the Aussies. You know, they're one of their own, Matt, aren't they? But that's Fusaichi Pegasus's future as a stallion. A Group 1 here at Royal Ascot. Here he comes.
I do think this is a tactically outstanding performance from the Coolmore boys. Harada Sun 5-1, co-second favourite at 3, Dargina 5-1 and Finch.
It's an amazing race, this. Like, this Honoured Guest, the stablemate, comes across, leads, this horse sits directly behind it. If this race was run in Australia, I reckon these blokes would have got life.
Yeah. That's the way they do it in England. They're allowed to do it.
It might be the way they do it, but I mean, when he pulled off the rail to let Harada Sun through, and he looked back twice, he interfered with other horses. I mean, if you're going to let him through and there's no interference, that might be fine. But you can't cause interference to other horses at the benefit of his
the horse is over there and he's won a race, and that's good. That's got to be generally for the greater good, hasn't it?
So what happens to the poor people that are on the so-called pacemaker?
Yeah, actually,
Jace.
Head of the King's Stand. We've come down to see the superstar that is Takeover Target with his girl, and also his mate.
He's tried many a time to buy another Takeover Target. It's a free course for him. A lot of people have criticised him back home for the fact that he may have over-raced this horse over the years. He is a freak, there is no doubt about that. Joe's tried the same tactic back home of buying a similar type and it's never worked for him. Takeover Target could be the pace of the race from stall 7. Will he also now come stand side? The whole problem with the stalls, Kevin Manning to get a ban for this performance. We've highlighted Finch Cambio for you. We'll roll the tape. Finch
and they're off and racing. Get away to a pretty good line, and amongst those that show up early, Magnus. They're splitting into 2 groups with a few remaining over towards the far side. Dandyman's over there in company with National Colour, who leads that group with Morehouse Lad and Matsunasuki. Meanwhile, over on the near side, Equiano leads at not a breakneck pace from Takeover Target and Magnus, the Australian duo, well paced. They're being tracked by Fleeting Spirit, then entice the halfway stage. Over on the far side, National Colour shows with a narrow advantage there from Dandyman. They're being tracked by Morehouse Lad. Meanwhile, under the stand side, Equiano continues to give a bold sight, then Takeover Target. Magnus is under strong pressure. Fleeting Spirit is being asked to close inside the last. Equiano for Spain. Takeover Target and Fleeting Spirit on the far side. Dandyman and National Colour. Equiano's made just about every yard. Dandyman on the near far side is just about alongside. They hit the line. Equiano, a famous winner for Spain in the King's Stand. Takeover Target may be second, it's tight for third. Fleeting Spirit and Dandyman drawn on the wrong side again, may have got a minor placing.
They're just calling it. Second was number 9, Takeover Target. Second again, another blinding race here. At Royal Ascot, Matt, goodness me.
What a result, Equiano. And Equiano wins, unconsidered Equiano. What do we know about him? Virtually unconsidered, and actually romps home in the end. Takeover Target, what a magnificent record at a Royal Ascot. It looked, though, there as though...
I have to say, Matt, of the disappointments, Magnus, huge disappointment on his last start of his career, enticing the, well, the last few years we've had Chinot winning for France, Takeover Target, Miss Andretti.
And the Australians, of course, and everything, yes. Yeah. But this is the great thing about racing. We're making it international now, and this has really gone...
Look, it was tipped on the radio, on the coverage on 2KY that night, and on Melbourne radio, and yeah, look, it just kept going. Takeover Target went enormous. The last couple of years that he's gone well in this race, he's battled to back up.
Right.
Now, whether that's just something...
happens and nothing goes forever, does it?
No, exactly right. He's 9. So, he's had a great run, and most horses don't go beyond.
As we head off to a break, the other Group 1 race on Thursday was the Ascot Gold Cup, and Yates did it again. Here you'll see it. It was headed in the straight at about the 300-metre mark.
This is his 3rd straight.
This is his
Ascot
3rd.
Gold Cup.
And he just keeps fighting back, possibly coming to Melbourne.
Possibly coming to Melbourne. Every year, right, the Ascot Gold Cup winner is possibly coming to Melbourne.
Oh, well,
right? So,
talking it up. There he is. Yates just coming away. I mean, he looked gone.
1 and 2, 3 legs clear, and Yates storms clear, and it's 3 gold cups for Yates. It's second Jordan. It's second Jordan.
Right, I've got the on, and your humiliation is complete. This horse should go well, should go close. Saki Secret, well, he's just about got his ground. The rain has just about stayed off sufficiently for Saki Secret.
And the track is a little bit on the hard side for him. I think he just felt his legs just at the last bit of the race, but now the sting out of the ground here today, I think will suit him right down.
Yeah, it's more rain than that. Saki Secret may well have been headed in the market by Takeover Target and possibly Marchand d'Or, but that hasn't been the case. Oh, Takeover Target into joint favourite now, so I may have spoken too soon. 92 each of 2. So
but still, well, now in the UK, Marchand d'Or is favourite, $5.10, but our favourite here is Takeover Target, $1.80 and even money.
Jubilee. And they're off, and they're racing away to a very level break indeed. Diabolical showing good early speed for Godolphin. Takeover Target towards the stand side, followed by War Artist. Out on the far side, Fat Boy blazes the trail there from Sea Change, and then Assertive, followed Face Saki. Racing down towards the final 2.5 furlongs. Fat Boy out in the centre. Takeover Target on the right with War Artist, then Diabolical in behind them. Assertive is coming through with Kingsgate Native as well. On the far side, Dark Missile, and then Sea Change as they now race towards the final furlong and a half. Saki Secret is very well beaten. Takeover Target and Kingsgate Native with War Artist on the stand side as they race inside the final furlong. War Artist joining Takeover Target and Kingsgate Native running an absolute blinder. Then Sir Jerry's running home well. It's Kingsgate Native in front for a shock, and Kingsgate Native lands the Golden Jubilee from in second. War Artist, Sir Jerry back in third, close for fourth. Takeover Target probably just fourth, ahead of the running on US Ranger and Marchand d'Or.
stand during the week too, but there you go. And Warrada's second and Sir Jerry was third in the old odds. Takeover Target finishing in fourth place.
He ran well. There he is up contesting the lead, and he was there for a long time, and those other horses just got the better of him. And over the last 50 metres, I think, you know, he's just easing down a little bit. He wasn't being asked to do too much, but, you know, well beaten there. You know, these things happen to good horses.
What did you think of his action, guys? I just seemed to notice him sort of flicking his near side front just a little oddly.
He's always had a bit of an extravagant action, the horse, a little bit so, but I think, you know, he's getting on. How old's he now? 7?
Nine.
Sorry.
Look, Joe's looked after him. Joe wouldn't run him if he thought there was a problem or so.
But, you know, a 9-year-old, and he had chronic problems.
This is going to happen more and more to him. He's old, you know.
Let's have a look now at this morning's race, the Golden Jubilee. The key words to me were he didn't feel 100% takeover target. He was reluctant to stretch out. They'll watch him the next few days. He was entitled to give a lot more. He felt like a different horse today than what he was. Now, I've been unable to get on to Joe Jeniak, but the general feel that I'm getting is, and I don't want to go off too early, but may that could have been the last run. May be there is an issue that won't see the horse race again. We'll see. They're still hoping that maybe the July Cup, but maybe there just is an injury concern after yesterday.